Hi, I'm Kesenya and welcome to Guiding Star Astrology. I'm your Astro Weather Girl, here with this week's Astro Weather Report. I'm going to show you how the stars are going to affect your life this week. In my videos, I use both Vedic and traditional Western techniques with tropical astrology, not sidereal astrology. I also use the traditional system of whole sign astrology for my analysis. You can use this video to the best of your advantage by listening to the introduction to understand what the week holds for you, and then going to the timestamps for your sun, moon, and rising sign to get a more personalized forecast for the week ahead. Astrology is not designed to scare you. It's designed to give you information so that you know what the good and the challenging energies in the week ahead will be, and you can therefore consciously work with them to the best of your advantage. Remember, knowledge is power. Now, there are scammers about, and so if you should receive a message from me on any platform requesting your money for a reading, know that it is a scam. Report them immediately. And now settle in and let's see what the astral skies have in store for the week ahead. Hello everybody in YouTube land, welcome to this week's Astro Weather Report. Firstly, oh wow, I have been so moved by all your comments of support over the last week. Particularly, I'm talking about my video, my Astro Weather Report about Aries and the North Node and Jupiter retrograde. I was actually very, very nervous about sharing that video on YouTube and my thoughts about Aries and the North Node. But oh my goodness, the response was so overwhelming. It just blew me away. It does my heart so much good to know that we are a tribe, a community of like-minded, supportive and loving people. I'm just so thrilled. Thank you one and all. Everybody who commented on that video, my gorgeous Astro YouTube family. I'm so blessed to have you in my life, so blessed that you join me here each week for the Astro Weather Reports. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to just say before we dive into this week's Astro Weather, if you haven't done so, check out the video that I released this Wednesday, just gone, all about ancient Egypt and the upcoming tour that I'm hosting with Patricia Awyan Lehman and David Warner Mathisen. This is happening in November 2024, and in this video we talk about, firstly, this month's heliacal rising of the powerful royal star Regulus. It happens every September, and I talk about that in the video. We also talk about the Dendera ZODIAC and the energetic power for healing the body and expanding the soul that is at the ancient sites in Egypt. Patricia expands on this, and she has many, many stories about miracles and amazing things that occur at these ancient sites in Egypt. The video is incredible, so check it out and come join us in Egypt in 2024. You'll find out all the details, and Patricia actually goes through all the sites we're going to visit, the accommodation that we'll have, what you can expect. It's a fantastic video if you've been thinking about joining us in Egypt in November 2024, and I hope you are going to join us there. It's going to be so much fun and so mind expanding, soul expanding, body healing. It's going to be amazing. And finally, I just want everyone to know that I'm intending to open up spaces for readings with me towards the end of the year. And I'm really looking forward to doing this, to getting back to connecting with people and doing readings again after a year off, let's say, if you could call it that, a year off, where I've been focused on putting my Royal Stars Academy certified astrology course together. If you're interested in the astrology courses, and I have different levels available to people, that information is at my Learn Astrology page on the website. But also, like I said, I just want to make everybody aware. I'm going to be offering my readings. I'm going to open that up with me, readings with me towards the end of the year. So stay tuned for information about when I actually launch readings again. So now into this week's weather. We're looking at the astral energies that are playing out from the 19th to the 16th of September. Well, the key events this week are all occurring later in the week. So on the 15th of September, the moon is going to move into a conjunction with the sun. And then we have the new moon in Virgo at 22 degrees. This is going to be a very surprising new moon in the best possible way. What will this magical, mutable moon do for you? There's a trine to Uranus with this moon and a conjunction with the fixed star Denebula, and this means that this new moon could be one of the most positively potent moons for the year. New moons, that is, for the year, not full moons, new moons for the year. So find out more about the nature of this new moon and its implications for your sign and what it might do for you at the Patreon family. I do a new moon report every month and a full moon report every month at the Patreon family. If you want to join, the link is in the description below. And then on the 16th of September, we have the Sun in a trine to Uranus at 22 degrees. So the day after the new moon, the Sun makes its exact trine to the planet Uranus. So Sun in Virgo, Uranus is down there in Taurus. This is a cracking good energy to shift us out of a long-term rut. Thank goodness. So this might involve seeing your world with new eyes, so that you're not caught in a rut with how you're perceiving the world, getting one of those precious goosebump moments, or taking a life-changing 180-degree turnaround for some people, especially those with personal planets that are either at 22 degrees of Taurus or 22 degrees of Virgo. So life-changing influence for some of us. So if you need to action some change in your life, do it on the 16th of September, because this energy has your back for making changes. We feel more vital, we feel more self-expressive, we feel magnetic, we feel creative under this energy. It's a crazy good day for liberating ourselves from something that's been blocking us and holding us back. Also, on the 16th of September, so it's going to be a busy day around the 15th and 16th of September, little old Mercury up here turns direct. Now, Mercury has been retrograding for 3 weeks, and then on the 16th, he's going to turn direct at 8 degrees of Virgo. I want to stay in Mercury retrograde forever, said nobody ever. No one wants to be in Mercury retrograde, and I don't know if you've noticed it, but I have, just things going wrong with my computer that don't usually go wrong, trouble uploading things, David's laptop crashing and stuff like that. Like, we have challenges with so many areas of our life when Mercury goes retrograde, and it warrants us to be patient and enduring and stoic and all those sorts of things. But we can now bid an end to all the plotting, the waiting, the pondering, and the planning that goes on during Mercury retrograde. At last, we can begin to take action now that Mercury goes direct. So recognize, use this time, the 16th of September, recognize that you have grown through the last 3 weeks, that process. And like a butterfly emerging from a cocoon, you'll emerge from this Mercury retrograde period with a renewed way of thinking and perceiving life. So it can actually be a great blessing in growth and emergence that occurs on this day. Growth has occurred almost imperceptibly, so we should be looking to give thanks for how we've changed and grown in the last 3 weeks, how we've managed to endure, how we've managed to persevere through the difficulties of Mercury retrograde. Now, we're not quite all done with the Mercury retrogrades that we will experience in 2023. There's going to be another round of Mercury retrograde energy towards the end of December in another Earth sign, Capricorn. But for now, we're going to take a look at Mercury moving direct in the house ruled by Virgo, where the retrogradation has occurred this time. That's what we're going to break down for all signs. What does Virgo rule in your chart? What is now shifting and changing with the ruler of Virgo, Mercury, changing and moving direct in its own sign? Mercury rules our skill sets in a very practical sense, especially when Mercury is in Earth signs. And now that Mercury is moving direct on the 16th of September, for many it's going to be a time to consider reskilling in some practical field of life, taking steps towards implementing new learning and developing new skill sets. So maybe all that's happened during the retrograde phase, and we've all gone through different things, different experiences that are the result of Mercury retrograde, maybe all those things that happened during Mercury retrograde were in order to prepare you for a future that hasn't arrived yet, but it's on its way. maybe, and I don't say this lightly, maybe the universe is calling you and I to trust in a new direction that's unfolding. This brave new world that we're entering into continues to be birthed. What skill sets in this brave new world are going to be the most valuable? What skill sets do you have that can be of the most use in this brave new world we're living in? So the Mercury retrograde phase may have shown you a new path that will incorporate new skill sets, new mindsets, new, application of practicality in your life. So some people might be, changing careers. Some people might be changing their approach to partnership. It all depends on what this Virgo area of the chart is all about in your personal chart. What have you always wanted to do but never been brave enough to try? With Mercury moving direct and now visible in its own sign, there's never been a better time to try something new. So it's a very powerful direct motion of Mercury now. Because Mercury, like I said, in December is going to go retrograde and then direct in Capricorn. But Mercury is not overly powerful in Capricorn. It does okay. It's not debilitated, but it's not in its strength. Here, it's in its strength. So it's a very powerful Mercury direct phase. So there's never been a better time to try something new and develop a new skill set. Maybe you've always had a hankering to grow organic vegetables, or maybe you've always wanted to turn your hand to some carpentry, or get a diploma of education in a particular field of expertise and run your own online school. These times we're living in are times of great change, my friends, as we all know. But we are being squeezed into a new direction. And yes, it feels a lot like labor pains, like a woman giving birth into something like the new baby about to be born. And perhaps when the child is born, we're going to be surprised at how wonderful this new life feels. Because when we're birthing a child, we're letting go of that cumbersome feeling, that heaviness, that weight that we carried. So maybe Mercury direct now is giving you a new opportunity as the new life is born, and it represents a new opportunity in your life, letting go of the old heaviness in order to embrace the new birthed baby. I hope you get my drift here. My point is that this is a time of new beginnings and powerful new beginnings with Mercury moving direct in Virgo. In ancient astrology, Mercury was actually considered to be the second most important planet, and it related in ancient times to our ability to try new things. That's why Mercury moving direct is going to give us the impetus to do so. But Mercury also in ancient times was connected, as it is in modern times, to how we communicate. But in ancient times, Mercury also had connections to our character, how we express our ideas, how we learn, and also what others first see in us. My friends, with Mercury now reborn, visible and direct, it's a brand new season to try something new. So go for it. Let's break this down now for all signs. What are the implications of Mercury moving direct in Virgo? Let's begin with Virgo, obviously, where Mercury has now turned direct. So obviously this is your first house, and what this means now is that you're thinking. Mercury is thinking and talking and communicating. It's going to be faster now. You're going to think quicker, more on the job with your mental activity, and you can also talk faster now. You communicate more fluently now. In fact, your mind can actually be faster than your mouth whenever Mercury is in direct motion moving through the first house. So try to slow down, try to think things through, my Virgo friends. You might need to make some fast decisions now and even take some quick actions over certain circumstances in your life. So just remember to check the finer details. Virgo, you're very good at that. So just a little reminder there. You're going to want to keep things in life while Mercury is direct moving through your sign, more short, more to the point. There's sort of a busyness and a bustle about your life now that's going to keep you on your toes. You might receive some exciting new fresh insights about your life, about yourself and about your circumstances, and any plans that you're making, you're going to want to keep the details of those new plans simple and try not to get too bogged down in the details, okay? Keep things simple and try and give a big picture approach. Mercury likes to go down to the details and we forget the big picture. So I just want to give you a reminder with Mercury moving direct in your first house of you. Try to remember the big picture and don't get too bogged down in the details. Also, try not to get defensive during the next few days about your opinions. Take the high ground. Use your words to communicate or debate or have intellectual argument with people in a manner that's tinged with grace. Okay? You might be able to rally people to a cause now through your infectious excitement and your words. They have a lot of power now here in the first house. But there might also be, you might experience some impatience with other people who are taking too long to get to their point. Because remember, you're thinking fast and furious, but not everybody else is. Mercury's going to be in different houses for everyone now. So you've got the quickness of Mercury happening for you. Be patient with others who don't have that quick energy playing out in their life. Thank you, my Virgo friends. All right, Libra rising, Libra sun, Libra moon people, you're up next. We have got Mercury, not Virgo. Mercury changing direction in the 12th house, moving direct and now reborn and visible on the 16th of September. So the 12th house is a dreamy and imaginative placement for Mercury to be influencing our life. Because of this, even though Mercury is powerful in Virgo, we still might have some trouble with the details, So if you need to sign contracts, even though Mercury is not retrograde anymore, I would still get somebody, for Libran people, if you've got to sign a contract or set up an account or do some sort of dealing contractually, I would get somebody else to check the fine details, because when Mercury is in the 12th house, we can be a bit too dreamy, too imaginative, and not focused on the details that we need to focus on. But the good news is Mercury moving direct here can give us information from the divine, from otherworldly realms. We might channel a message for humanity now during Mercury's retrograde motion here. We might get an aha light bulb moment and we're like, I've got to share this with everybody. I have to communicate this out to the world. You can also have visions in your dreams now, or get messages from the gods, messages from spirit in your dreams, and that includes your imaginings. So your daydreams are also very important during this time. There might be some troubles though with everyday activities and routines. You might get distracted easily or be thinking in a more unusual left of center way that, I was actually thinking about this just this morning on my morning walk, how we are so conditioned to fit into a world system that looks like this, and that's this square box, and we've got to fit into it. And certainly, while Mercury is moving through the 12th house direct, Libra, you're not going to want to fit into that square box. You're going to want to do things more differently, or you're going to be thinking in a different way than the usual, expectations of the system that we actually are in on Earth. So there might be some trouble fitting in or thinking in the same way as everybody else now. But there's a lot of creativity, a lot of inspiration available to you, just frustration with the mundane and the ordinary, really. So tap into that creativity, write that book, write that poetry, record that song or whatever it is that you are using your creativity and inspiration for. Mercury in the 12th direct and powerful though can also, like I said, it's giving us a lack of thoroughness for the details of life, but I've already alluded to the fact that knowledge can arrive intuitively. So trust your instincts now. If you've got a gut feel about something, trust it. If you're feeling inspired in a certain direction in life, trust that too. Follow that hunch, if you like. It is an energy that can be very visionary and inspiring. It's a great transit also for anybody who's working in marketing or advertising. Any marketing or advertising careers can really go well now. If you're involved in the music industry, it can go well, or writing industry, or any creative careers. Inspiration can land on your doorstep now, thanks to Mercury moving direct in this house. It's a good time also to get chatty about 12th house matters, chatty about spirituality, chatty about, divine ideas, inspirational ideas. You might even get a lot of big psychic downloads or insights. And as I said, your dreams can be prophetic. Mercury moving direct can also make you a bit restless in the 12th house. You might want to travel now while Mercury is here, and travel to faraway places too. Thank you, Libra. I'm going to be traveling to a faraway place during this time. Lo and behold, there goes Mercury doing his thing. Scorpio rising, Scorpio sun, Scorpio moon people. Mercury is turning direct and becoming visible in your 11th house. And this is a very strong position for Mercury in the 11th house. So it's a time from the 16th of September onwards, while Mercury is in Virgo, to be thinking, or you're going to be thinking about life in a more rational and analytical way. And that can be very helpful. You know, we're considering things reasonably. We're considering things logically. We don't get distracted. We're not sort of, here, there, and everywhere and scattered with our thoughts. In that way, it's a blessing. Your intellectual approach as well becomes more impartial. Now, you can be a bit more detached during this time from your emotions now, Scorpio, which may be a relief to some of you. Sometimes the emotions of Scorpio can get quite consuming and overwhelming, but Mercury moving direct in the 11th house is a great energy that is going to give you a little bit more headspace from your emotions, and you can detach from going down those emotional rabbit holes, so to speak. It's a great transit for making new friends, and if you have any public speaking engagements to engage in, your words are going to have a great deal of persuasive impact now. So if you have to give a message in public or speak in public, it's going to be powerful. And of course, your words when you're interacting with new people are going to be compelling and mesmerizing. So the ability to make new friends and draw people to you through your words is enhanced now. You might even be able to rally people to a cause with a great deal of persuasion and the sweetness of your words here in the 11th house as well. It's also a time when you might gain a unique perspective on a topic that affects the masses. So keep an open mind and keep an open heart now with Mercury moving direct here. This is the realm of the chart that has to do with how the masses think and act and feel. You might also notice some goosebump moments that increase. So pay attention to those flashes of insight. I'm a big believer that when you get those goosebump tingles, your soul is trying to tell you something and communicate. So, when that happens, think, what was I thinking about just then and I got goosebumps? Or where was I that I got goosebumps? Or who was I talking to that gave me goosebumps? These things are important. Pay attention to those flashes of insight. They might come more frequently with Mercury now direct in your 11th house. And your thinking, Mercury is how we think, might be drawn to topics to do with the progress of humankind and the justice of humankind. You might even be considering some sort of collective legal action, joining some collective legal action under this influence here. So you'll be thinking a lot about where's humanity heading and what can I do to help humanity head in the right direction. We're all thinking a lot about that these days, aren't we? Thank you, Scorpio. Now, Sagittarius rising or sun or moon people. Mercury is turning direct in an angular house. That makes it very strong. Mercury is also now visible. Mercury is one of the least visible planets out there in the solar system because it's always so close to the sun. But at this point, when it's turning direct, it's actually at one of its furthest points to the sun. And so you will see Mercury very early in the morning, just a blip above, a little star above the horizon just before the sun comes up. So Mercury direct, Mercury in the angular house, in a house that it rules, makes it a powerful time. For Sagittarius people, our thinking processes can now become more grounded. No nonsense. And we can use our mind and our thoughts to help build some helpful new structures in our life. This is a powerful time. If you Sagittarian people are looking for careers in management, then this Mercury turning direct here can actually open up the path to a career in management. Mercury is also administration, and unfortunately it's also bureaucracy. So if you're wanting a if you're wanting a job in a bureaucratic organization, you can actually do well now. But yeah, there might be for some people when Mercury turns direct a career that comes your way, or the path is opened up to some area of management. It's a good time for putting some new systems in place in your life as well. New systems, I'm not talking about big global systems that we're in, but new systems for your own, like day-to-day management, and, a system for attaining the goals and dreams and aspirations that you have. Watch out for any patronizing, dogmatic attitudes, Sagittarius, that might bubble up in you at this time. This is a really great placement, I must just say, but it can be a placement that sort of triggers some criticism or judgmentalism that comes out now. And that can be directed towards yourself as well as to others. You might be heavily critical of yourself or judgmental of yourself, as well as maybe to other people. It could also mean that bosses, people in authority over you, are critical or judgmental of you as well. So juggle that energy quite lightly if you can, Don't be too down on yourself, and if somebody directs some criticism at you, let it be like water off a duck's back. Be aware of this tendency of Mercury in Virgo turning direct, and treat others with kindness in your communication and your interactions now. So some really fabulous things coming about with career that this Mercury direct can be bringing, but also there's a challenge here for Sagittarius people to just be conscious of too. Thank you, Sagittarius. Capricorn, Capricorn rising, Capricorn sun, Capricorn moon has Mercury moving direct now in the 9th house, and Mercury is also visible. So your thinking now is more centered on uplifting topics, and even in difficult circumstances, Capricorn, you might be like, where's the silver lining in this moment? Where's the inspiration? What can I glean out of this difficult situation? You're going to think towards the positive in the 9th house. And that is a welcome relief a lot of the time, because I think humanity or people are just geared to sometimes look for the negative unless they've got very strong Jupiterian components in their chart. So now with Mercury going direct in the blessed 9th house, we tend towards the optimistic, the glass half full. You'll tend to focus your thoughts in positive directions now. And that's really lovely. You can actually really help humanity this month with a more globalist approach, globalist thinking. And I'm not talking about becoming a globalist society, but you're thinking about what can bless humanity as a whole. What can help human beings on the planet now? So you're thinking big picture focus. And there's this progressive view towards life. And the future, looking to the future is a 9th house thing that is really quite active and strong for you now, Capricorn. So enjoy being in that energy. Enjoy thinking about progress. Enjoy thinking about how, humanity can be benefited. And don't just think about it. I'd say put it into action as well. If you come up with any great ideas for blessing humanity and taking humanity forward, take action on those things too. Lord knows we all need a bit of that in the world right now. Truth seeking is also on the cards now that Mercury is turned direct in the 9th house. You want answers to all the big questions of life, and you're going to seek out the answers. You're going to seek out the truth. Mercury direct makes you restless for this truth. The truth regarding philosophies and morals and ethics in humanity. I would also suggest that this is quite a prophetic placement for Mercury, the 9th house lord for you, turning direct in the 9th house. It's a prophetic place, so trust your hunches, trust your intuition now, trust your gut instinct. It won't lead you astray. This is also a good time while Mercury is direct, ruler of the 9th house, in the 9th house. It's a great time to dive into different philosophies and belief systems and try and wrap your head around other ways of thinking and activities and affairs in foreign countries. It's also a good time to try and grapple with and come to terms with and understand what's going on a global perspective. So go there. You might be surprised at what unfolds for you and what truth is revealed, my Capricorn friends. Aquarius rising, Aquarius Sun and Aquarius Moon people, Mercury is turning direct now in your 8th house. And Mercury is also visible for a very short time as well, as it's at its furthest degree away from the Sun. So it can be visible very early in the morning at this time. Now, this is happening on the 16th of September, Aquarius, and at this time, while Mercury continues direct through Virgo, your thinking can become quite deep, quite intense. You might be very impatient with small talk, and superficial conversation just leaves you cold. So don't be surprised if that's how you're feeling. It's time also for getting strategic in your communications. You want to get to the point. You want it to be a valuable conversation. You want it to be real and make you uncomfortable if people are just talking about the football or something. So you're going to be very focused as well on psychological analysis now that Mercury's turned direct, particularly your own self-analysis, and maybe the people in your intimate circle too. You're trying to nut yourself out, trying to nut the people in your intimate circle out and understand their agendas and their motives and their hearts. You can also expect to have a lot of passion in your communication and your thinking now. You're going to communicate with words that have great fervor and enthusiasm, and you're going to be communicating and wanting to talk about topics dear to your heart. Your words really do have power now here in the 8th house, so use them like a superhero for good. One of the shadow sides of Mercury moving direct through the 8th house is that there can be a tendency to manipulate others with your words. So try and avoid that. Be conscious of that. And if you hear words coming out of your mouth that are manipulative, just be like, whoa, Nelly, hold up on that. And instead set an intention to use the power of your words to uplift, to bless, to help others, or to help change the world. This is a house of change after all. You could also expect Aquarius to come to some quite intense conclusions now about the darker side, the darker undercurrents of humanity. This is a time when you might be researching and going deep into sort of more morbid, more taboo topics, exploring conspiracy theories and finding that they're not theories after all, they're actual fact. You might find some certain truths come to light now that Mercury has turned direct in your 8th house, and it can be quite shocking, and it can feel like the rug's pulled out from under us when that happens. I know I've had many such moments over the last 4 to 5 years where reality hit me like a ton of bricks and completely changed my perspective. This is the kind of thing that can happen now that Mercury's turned direct in your 8th house. You might find also that people are divulging their secrets to you now. They're wanting to tell you, communicate with you about something very intimate, very private, very secret. And you might even turn into a bit of a Sherlock Holmes on a trail for the truth. Like I said, doing a deep dive into sort of all sorts of theories, trying to find out what is real and what is true and what is a false facade. You'll be drawn to mysteries, hidden ideas, secret concepts, secret ideologies. You also probably during this time will have a moment in your life where you'll be able to see right through people, so to speak, to understand people's motivations and hidden truths. So there can be a big reality check that comes with that as you finally, like the penny drops, oh my goodness, they're treating me this way because they want a certain outcome, or that person actually doesn't have my highest good in mind, and I have to pull away from that person. These sort of penny drop moments where you understand the deep agenda behind people and behind certain facets of society that comes to light. So for some Aquarian people, you may actually be a provoker of transformation in others now through the use of your words. So you might find that people look at you blankly, or in a shocked manner when you say something, because your words have power and they're going to change people now. Even innocent little comments can be sort of like people's undoing, if you like, or begin an unraveling process in their mind as they wake up to reality. So you can be kind of like the devil's advocate or this provocateur of transformation in other people. Exciting times, Aquarius. Okay, Pisces rising, Pisces sun, and Pisces moon people. What does Mercury turning direct in your 7th house mean for you? Let's explore that together now. So the Lord of your 7th house is visible. This happens rarely for Pisces people. because Mercury is one of the least visible planets in the sky. It's too close to the sun most of the time for us to see it. Mercury is powerful and visible, moving direct now in its own sign. So you might find that during this month, Pisces, you have this strong need, strong urge to communicate your ideas and thoughts with other people to avoid feeling stuck. You just got to get it out of your system, because this is the house of other people, and Mercury is our communications. Mercury is the ruler of other people in your life. And so you're going to want to communicate and share and speak with others, and it sort of shifts the energy in your life to do so. So, we reclusive Pisces people can tend to keep things to ourselves a bit. I would suggest that this is actually not the time for doing that, Pisces, and that you benefit more from sitting down and having a chat with other people, or laying things out on the table, laying your cards on the table, and getting the words out there. You can also, Pisces, you really have a precious time in the progress of the year where you can uplift others with your words now. So be generous with your compliments, be generous with your encouragement. What we give out comes back to us as well. I think there's a Bible verse that says, cast your bread upon the waters, and in a certain amount of days it will come back to you. But, what we give out is what we get. So now, and you do this so well, Pisces, be generous with your words. Your communication, when it's in the 7th house, Mercury going direct, for a Pisces person, communication becomes more diplomatic, more balanced, more harmonious. Sometimes you might like to play devil's advocate in order to balance a conversation. It's too one-sided this way. Well, you throw in an idea bomb and think, see what people say about a certain perspective that's not the common. So you might be doing a bit of that to harmonize or balance a conversation. You really, what is wanted here is you want people to think objectively about issues. And that's why we do that. This is also a time, Pisces, where you can perceive problems from a variety of angles, and you will really enjoy the stimulation of fair and just debate. It's a time for feeling more rational and more reasonable in your thought process as well. It's a really grounded time for Pisces people, actually. And as a strong Pisces person myself, I know no one will be offended when I say that doesn't come naturally to Pisces people unless you've got strong earth sign placements throughout the rest of your chart. So this is a really important time of the year when Mercury is direct in the 7th house in its own sign, Virgo, when you can put your feet on the ground and be more practical in your thought processes. You also won't be in a hurry with your thinking now. It's sort of this is you, and if Mercury was going direct in the house of you, then your thinking's fast and furious. But in the house opposite you, thinking can go a bit slower. Thinking slows down and communication slows down. So take your time with what you want to share. Look at the details and focus on the words and what the effect is going to be, and think about things before you speak. Take your time. There's no rush. It's also a really great time when Mercury goes direct in the 7th house to bring balance and harmony to relationships with your words. So if you're in a marriage or a business partnership and things are sometimes fractious, it's your words that will heal now, Pisces. The words that will soothe while Mercury is now direct. I would also suggest that because Virgo in a Pisces chart has to do with the life of your partner or significant other, that there's some shift and some change now happening in the life of your partner that's positive. A move forward, a feeling of progress for your partner, a feeling of, okay, I've got some direction, I've got some get up and go. There's a Tame Impala song that I love with the line, it feels like we only go backwards. Well, that's not the case now that Mercury is direct. You're not going to feel like you're going backwards in life. You're going to feel like with you and your partner, could be a business partner, could be a marriage partner, things are moving forward at last. And I know that that's something that you Pisces people will really value. So feeling like life's moving forward, life is progressing, you're heading together in the right direction now that Mercury is moving direct in its own sign, the 7th house. Okay. Thank you, Pisces. Now, Aries. Aries rising, Aries sun, and Aries moon people. Mercury is moving direct now in Virgo, your 6th house. Guess what? You can have high levels of success now that Mercury is visible and direct in your everyday routine and in your everyday life because of this. This is a time when communication can take you to new levels of achievement in your everyday work. You know, you share your thoughts on an idea or a topic at work and everyone goes, yeah, bravo, bravo. Okay, you take on that project and that's great. So it's a time when how you communicate and how you articulate can bless and benefit your everyday life. Now, you can also be, have an improved ability, Aries, to get straight to the point. Mostly Aries are very good at that anyway, but it's even more so when Mercury is direct in the 6th house for you guys as the 6th house lord. This can be, I just need to let you know though, this can be a time of impatience with people who are not thinking as effectively as you. People who are not quick with their thoughts or coming up with great ideas. You might be like, oh Lord, how much do I have to put up with here? When are they going to get on board with this? So just be patient and remember that not everybody has Mercury moving direct in their 6th house. Practical skills can also be enhanced during this time. So if you work with your hands, maybe you're a hairdresser or maybe a carpenter or something like that. If you're working with your hands, these practical skills can be at their peak now. They're very much enhanced with the 6th house lord moving direct in the 6th house. But do be careful of perfectionism in your work. If you've got some crafting or creating to do, you will produce tasteful and intelligent, elegant work. But just, don't, I know people who will put together the most exquisite art and they're not happy with it, so they turf it out. And it's like, it couldn't get any better than what they did. They were just magnificent. It's this perfectionism that can be the downfall, okay? So Aries, just be very conscious of too much perfectionism now that Mercury is moving direct in the 6th house. It is also, when Mercury is direct, it can be a time in the 6th house of being a bit introspective and observational. Virgo as a sign is not, out there, hello, here I am. It's much more reticent than that. So you might be finding yourself under this influence now of being a bit more observational and introspective, maybe even analyzing every situation that you find yourself in. If there's any planning or preparation to be done, this is the time. This is the time now that Mercury is direct, and it can alleviate worry. Virgo is a sign of worry, unfortunately, and we all have Virgo somewhere in our chart. But in the 6th house, it does, when Mercury is moving direct through here, it can activate a bit of worry, going down that rabbit hole of what if this happens, what if that happens. So plan, prepare, write things down, organize and structure your life, and you will avoid that tendency to worry or get anxious about things. It's a really great time while Mercury is direct to put some practical organizational skills to work for you, and you can also do that for other people as well. There's blessing that happens for you, and karma is removed by helping the disadvantaged, sick, and the poor. While Mercury, at any time obviously, but especially now, it's an easier thing to do while the 6th house lord is moving direct in the 6th house. So look for where you can help heal and fix things, and your life is blessed in return as a result of getting involved in that area. All right, thank you to Aries. Taurus rising, sun and moon people, or moon people. If you have any of those placements, this is the section of the video for you. Mercury, your 5th house lord, is becoming visible and turning direct in your 5th house. So thinking here, Mercury is thinking, it becomes larger than life. In your imagination, you probably feel like you can go where no man or woman has gone before and do amazing things, because this is a very imaginative area of the chart. It's a very blessed area of the chart, and this is the planet that rules this area of the chart, Mercury. As such, you could find yourself undertaking some Mercury-based things that you might not usually do. This could look like speaking to a stranger, doing crossword puzzles or Sudoku. This is an area of the chart that has to do with playing games. You might be plotting out a literary endeavor, writing the outline of the world's next fabulous novel. You might be doing that. You might even find now that your communication style is more confident, more dramatic, more expressive and captivating than it usually is. And so if you have any public speaking engagements, if you want to put a YouTube video out there for the world to see, this is the time to do it, because your communication is blessed and lucky and fortunate while Mercury is direct in the sign that it rules, in the 5th house. So this is wonderful. People are going to be laughing at your jokes. People are going to be engaged with what you've got to say now. The 5th house is also a generous kind of energy. So you're probably going to be very generous with your words now, giving compliments and encouragement to other people. Remember, what you give out, what you put out, comes back to you. You reap what you sow. So if you're feeling, compelled to say, oh, that's a beautiful hairstyle, or I love the way you are always so affectionate and warm, or whatever, be very positive and uplifting with your words now, because it will come back to you and bless you in return. This 5th house is the house of the good karma we have accumulated in past lives. So very, very positive, this transit. Very, very positive. It's also the house of children. So with Mercury moving direct here in the house of children, there is a positive, engaging energy between you and your children that might be present. You might be interacting more with your children, communicating more with your children, have some really good conversations with your children now, learn something together, share some sort of skills together, or maybe you just go on a little road trip with your children, one or more of your children. That happens now that Mercury is direct here. Your children are also likely to experience some kind of blessing in their life now that Mercury is direct in the 5th house for a time. Thank you, my Taurus friends. Gemini rising, sun and moon people, or all three if you've got them. The energy of Mercury turning direct is going to be felt in your 4th house, Gemini. And Mercury is not only turning direct in the 4th house, but it's also visible, and it's also the ruler of the 4th house. So we've got a very powerful influence of Mercury this week. Communication, when Mercury is doing all this in the 4th house, gets very personal. Gemini, you might find yourself very sensitized for the next couple of weeks while Mercury is here, very sensitized to the feelings and the needs of other people in a way that you might not usually be. So it's a transit that can make you very attuned to others, but it's also a transit that can bring out some defensive tendencies in you. So be kind to yourself where you need to be. If you're feeling defensive, just don't criticize yourself for that. Go easy on yourself if you're feeling defensive. And also, my beautiful Gemini friends, know when to walk away and lick your wounds instead of staying for a fight with words. Obviously, Mercury is also the ruler of you, your sign, Gemini. So it's going to be a very powerful transit, and Mercury is also angular. So I think more than any other sign, it's Gemini that's going to be really feeling this energy of Mercury moving direct, although possibly Virgo will also as well. You might find now that information is just flowing to you easily in a gentle, non-confrontative way. You want the news, or you want to understand things, and it lands on your doorstep. You get the information that you seek. It's also a really good energy to take some time out and do some journaling. Look at your own feelings, your own emotions, and where they're coming from. It's also a great time to pick up a book. You can, on any topic really, pick up a book and get stuck in. Sometimes I love to read, but I very rarely have the time to do so as much as I would actually like to do. But here, with this energy, you're going to have the time to read. You're going to have the time to explore that cookbook and really, nut out which recipes you want to try in the coming months, or, dig into some sort of, historical romance or something. You're going to really enjoy getting stuck into your books and information now. Poetry, might be something you might get involved in. Communications that share a personal story. The fourth house is a very personal house. So any communications that are sharing the feelings of the heart, any communications that are telling a personal story or an emotive story are going to be very appealing, and you should enjoy those. You might also find that you get a little bit sentimental and nostalgic while your fourth house ruler is direct here and strong. So you might be thinking about the past or people from the past. You might be thinking about family a lot more than usual and connections to family. You might also be thinking about fourth house topics like security, making your life more secure and more stable and giving your life a strong foundation. You might be thinking more about land, about property. You might be even inspired to have some people around for dinner, to practice some hospitality in some way or have some visitors over. These are things that can happen now that Mercury moves direct. You can expect that you might get very passionate as well, because it's a passionate house, about philosophical topics and deep soul-searching inquiry, which is why it's a good time for journaling. Often Gemini as an energy likes to stay on the surface. What's the weather? What's the gossip? Where's the news? And that's great. We need people who are light in that manner. But this energy, Mercury, fourth house lord, moving direct in a much more deep house, might find you going deeper than you usually want to. And that can be good. It's a great time for some introspection in that way. Thank you, Gemini. Cancer rising, Cancer sun, and Cancer moon people. Mercury is moving direct in your third house on the 16th of September. And this is actually a really good house for Mercury to be in. This is the house of the mind, and Mercury is the planet of the intellect. So it's a very strong energy now. So Cancer people, your mind, your thoughts are going to be very grounded, very helpful to you now. Trust what you're thinking about. Trust your intuition. Trust your gut instinct while Mercury is so powerful in your third house. But also, you might be feeling more mentally playful and cheeky. You want to play, maybe do word games, get the categories board out, or do some crossword puzzles. It's a mental, playful, cheeky, even fun-loving energy. You might be feeling more flirty with your words and your wit and your intellect while Mercury is moving through here. In fact, your intellect is likely to be on fire. So if you've got to go to a trivia night, this is the time. It's also a great time to direct your words into some form of creative brilliance. It's time for writing the outline of the plot to the new story or an article that you want to get published. It's time for strategizing a new business idea or establishing it's a really great time, Cancer, for establishing your own small business in some way, or, practicing some consultancy work or working for yourself in some manner. Third house lord in the third, moving direct and visible and powerful. Wow, if you've been wanting to start some sort of side hustle or establish an income stream on your own skills and abilities, this is the time. This is absolutely the time. One thing though, your mind might be quite restless for the next couple of weeks, and it might be difficult to switch the mind off. So have some strategies for when you wake up in the middle of the night and your mind's, running at a million miles an hour. What are you going to do about that? You're going to light a candle or put on some incense or listen to one of Kesenya's YouTube videos that'll put you to sleep, like this sort of thing. Third house, mental activity can be in a bit of overload. So have some strategies for how you're going to deal with that. I would also say, Cancer, that you're going to get the opportunity in the next couple of weeks to absorb a lot of new and interesting information. You might be watching documentaries that you wouldn't usually watch. You might be learning something new that's really going to empower your life in some way. I would say you may also create some new friendships that are going to bring some new perspectives into your world, some sort of enlightenment, some sort of understanding that you may not have had. Your curiosity will be at a peak. A bit insatiable. You're going to want to know about everything, fingers in every pie, so to speak, while Mercury is powerful here in the third house. Do watch out though also for an excess of nervous energy because of that racing mind that I talked about. It might be harder to sit still and meditate now. So if that's the case, just know that this is a passing energy, Cancer. You don't have to sit still and away, even though your mind's running a million miles an hour. You might like to take a meditative walk by some water or something like that. Do something that keeps the chi flowing through your body while you're in that state of prayer and mental connection with the divine. So that's my my view of what might be unfolding for you, my Cancer friends. Now, Leo rising, sun and moon, you have waited till last. Thank you for your patience. Leo, you are having Mercury, the second house lord, become visible in the second house and move direct in the second house. This is a very powerful time of year. Now, Mercury doesn't always retrograde through its own sign, Virgo, but this time it did. And so this is a very powerful, has been a very powerful retrograde process. And so the turning direct process is now also very significant and very powerful as well. And this is felt in the second house. The second house is a bit like Venus. It's about sweetness, it's about materialism, it's about the five senses. So when the planet of the thinking goes direct here, we might find that we have our thoughts are strongly directed towards the material side of life. And we might be thinking about, how am I making money? Have I got what I need to survive in the world? This is the house of our ability to be self-sufficient and to survive. Do we have the resources that we need for survival? You might be thinking a lot on those topics. Your thoughts are turning towards surviving, and your skill sets are seen through the planet Mercury as well. You might be utilizing new skills towards making money or towards creating a life that is self-sustainable. So I can see a lot of Leo people, they might be establishing a vegetable garden now, or growing something new, or working out some sort of new talent, new skill set that's going to be of practical, serviceable use in your life going forward. Maybe you're learning how to weave your own cloth, or maybe you're learning how to sew or create your own furniture, or some skill that's going to be able to be utilized in the future and help create perhaps a side hustle of income for you, or some sort of resources that you can use like a veggie garden can on an everyday basis. Under this energy also, Leo, you might be inclined to use your voice more as well, because second house is the house of the voice, and of course Mercury is to speak. So you can be using your voice to uplift other people and to bless other people. Virgo is to fix things and make things right. So you might be using your voice to sort of create some sort of awareness in people, or fix things and make things right in people's life. You might also be uplifting other people's sense of self-worth and self-value through something that you speak, something that you say. I would also recommend doing that for yourself as well, Leo. You know, we know that Leos, generally speaking, have a lot of self-confidence and self-love, at least they appear to on the surface. But Leo, it's a really great time to write yourself a love letter now. You know, this is the house of our self-worth and self-value. The second house lord ruling those things is moving direct in the second house now. And it's about communicating, Mercury, to ourselves, how much we appreciate ourselves, how much we value ourselves. So write yourself a love letter. Tell yourself how much you appreciate yourself. You know, and you could even, if you want to, communicate through little sticky notes on the mirror. You know, I am an uplifter. I expand to meet my destiny. I am a wise voice, you know, in the world. You know, put those little notes of upliftment around your home, in personal places for you that can lift you up. Communicate love to yourself now, Leo. It's a great energy for doing this. Your thoughts might also run towards the sensual things, and I don't just mean sort of sexy lingerie sensual. I mean the things that trigger the five senses, you know, perfume, the smell of beautiful flowers. It's spring here in Australia, everything's smelling so lovely, it's great. You might be thinking about the flower garden you want to plant because of that beautiful color, the visual color and the scent of that flowers bring. You might be thinking about fashion, beauty, the environment, food, art, nature. Also, the second house is self-sufficient living, so you're really focused on those areas of life. It's a great time for planning and strategizing such things as well, for thinking in your mind, how can I live more self-sufficiently? How, and not only using your skill sets to that end, but strategizing how you're going to do that in the future. What savings plans are you going to put into action so that you can get off grid or whatever it is that you actually want to do. It's a good time, Mercury Direct, for planning and strategizing these things. You'll also find that finances and money-making ideas are coming thick and fast now. So pay attention to where your mind wanders under this influence, You'll be inspired, I feel. Second house Lord moving direct in the second house. You'll be inspired with ways to make money and how to grow your finances, where to invest your money. Listen to your gut, listen to your instinct now, because this is on the money for you. Trust yourself with your inspirations in the financial realm. So Leo, thank you for waiting till last. That is it from me for this week, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead, and I look forward to sharing all about next week in next week's Astro Weather Report with you.